Hi and welcome back to module number 16, which is planning for disaster. This is the last lab of this certification series of Amazon Web Services on cloud architecting course. So it's a guided lab where we'll be configuring hybrid storage and migrating data with AWS Storage Gateway S3 file gateway. So let's try to understand what's the main objective of this lab. So in this lab, we'll explore how organizations can design resilient hybrid cloud storage solutions that protect critical data and maintain business continuity during disasters. Specifically, we'll learn how to configure Amazon Web Services Storage Gateway using the S3 file gateway service to integrate on-premises environment with Amazon S3 storage. You'll see how this hybrid approach helps in businesses seamlessly migrate, replicate, and backup on-premises data to the cloud, ensuring high availability, durability, and disaster recovery. So towards the end of the lab, you'll have hands-on experience on deploying and activating the S3 file gateway, connecting local applications to the cloud storage, migrating and verifying the data transfer to Amazon S3, and understanding how this setup supports disaster recovery and hybrid cloud architectures best practices. So just go through the contents of this lab. There are around 6 tasks in this one. So we'll go step by step, and just like always, I'll be explaining that we are doing in every step. Now, if you look at the diagram over here, we have different cloud premises like availability zones on US East 1 to US East 2 and US West 2. And we are keeping the EC2 instances on our first availability zone, and then we have our storage bucket S3 on second availability zone, and then we are replicating it in the third availability zone. So we'll be working on different things on this one. Just make sure that you are keeping an eye on the timer just to make sure that it is not reset while you're working on it. So if we'll see, the task number 1 is about reviewing the lab architecture. We did it. Now we'll be working on our task number 2, which is creating the primary and the secondary S3 buckets. Now in this step, we'll create 2 Amazon S3 buckets, one which would be serving as the primary bucket and the other one would be the secondary bucket in different AWS regions. Now, the primary bucket will be used for the main storage and data uploads, while the secondary bucket will act as a disaster recovery location for replication and data recovery, etc. When setting up these buckets, make sure to follow the proper naming conventions and select the distinct AWS regions to enable region fault tolerance. After completing this step, we'll have 2 secure regional distributed S3 buckets ready to host and replicate the data. So in order to start the lab, we'll go to our console and you'll click on this S3 bucket. If it's not here, you can search it in the taskbar over here and type in S3. You'll be taken to the S3 console. So since there are no buckets here, we'll create a bucket. After that, they are saying name the bucket. And in the step, they are saying select Ohio over here. So I'll select Ohio first, and then I'll name the bucket so that it would tell me that this is module number 16, bucket number 1 in Ohio region. After that, we'll scroll down and we'll go to bucket versioning and click enabled over here. Now the reason of enabling it over here is that since we are using cross-region replication, so we must enable the versioning for both the source and destination buckets. After that, we'll not make any other changes. We'll just create the bucket. Now as you can see that on our S3, a bucket has been generated and you can even see its region over here. After that, we'll have to create a secondary, which is the destination bucket. So we'll follow the same procedure. You'll go back to your S3 buckets, create a bucket, and this time they are saying to select Oregon from here. So I'll select this one. And I'll name it as mod 16 bucket 02 and Oregon, and in this one also we'll enable the versioning and create bucket. Now here you can see that we have bucket number 1 and bucket number 2, both are in different regions. Once that's done, we'll start working on task number 3, which is enabling cross-region replication. So we'll configure the cross-region replication, which we call as CRR, between the primary and the secondary S3 buckets we just created. So the cross-region replication would automatically copy everything or the new objects uploaded to the primary bucket over the secondary bucket in another region. So we'll enable versioning on both the buckets, and we'll define a replication rule that specifies the destination bucket and IAM role that is used by the service. So we'll go back to our console, click on these buttons over here so that you can see the general purpose buckets that you have created. So you'll click here, you'll be able to see the buckets, and then we'll open the first bucket that we created. After that, click on management, and here as you can see that at the moment under replication rule there are no rules created, so we'll have to create a rule over here. So we'll create a replication rule by clicking on this button or this button over here, and then we'll name it as CRR or full bucket. That's the name which is provided in the instructions manual. We'll keep the status as enabled, and under the source bucket we'll select apply to all objects in the bucket. After that, in destination we'll keep choose bucket in this account, and we'll choose the bucket which is in our other region, which is in Oregon, and we'll select the path for that one. Then we'll go down, they are saying in IAM roles, in the search box select or search S3 CRR and select the role. So in IAM role we can search here and select this role. After that, scroll down, we are not making any other changes, just click save. So you'll see this warning over here for replicating the existing objects. We'll keep it as it is and we'll press submit. Now here you can see the status of full bucket replication has been enabled, and you can see the destination bucket as Oregon, whereas you are in Ohio region, and rest of the information related to this one. Now we'll go back to our buckets, for example the first one, Ohio, and we'll try to upload some files over here and see that if it's actually replicated or not. So we'll try to upload a sample file over here, click upload and add files. It could be any file which is on your computer. So I selected a file and now I'll upload. As you can see that a file has been uploaded on my bucket. Now I want to check that since we uploaded a file on Ohio's bucket, if it's replicated in Oregon or not. So I'll go back to my Oregon, and if I'll see here, you can see the same file which we uploaded on Ohio has been replicated in Oregon region as well. So now we'll start our task number 4, which is about configuring the S3 file gateway and creating an NFS file share. So we'll configure the AWS Storage Gateway as a F3 file gateway, which would allow on-premises system to store and retrieve files in Amazon S3 using the NFS protocol. We'll activate the gateway, connect it to our AWS account, and then create an NFS file share that points to the primary S3 bucket. This setup would effectively bridge our local Linux environment with the cloud S3 storage, providing low latency access to frequently used files while keeping the backup in the cloud. So for that, we'll have to search for Storage Gateway as written over here, and then we'll select North Virginia and we'll create and configure our gateway with the name as File Gateway. So let's go to the console and try to perform these operations. So here, first of all, I'll go and I'll search for the Storage Gateway, and let's open it in a new tab. And then they are saying create a gateway, and they have provided us a name for that as well. So we'll name it as File Gateway. But before starting, just make sure that you have selected North Virginia from here. And now we'll name it as File Gateway and we'll continue. And then we'll change the time zone to -5 GMT. Then scroll down and make sure that the gateway selected is Amazon S3 File Gateway. Then go down. Under the host platform, select Amazon EC2. And here we are going to select Customize your settings. And then we'll launch the instance to select the settings of our EC2 instance. Now here they're saying to select the name as File Gateway Appliance. So we'll copy it from here. So we'll type the name here, File Gateway Appliance. Here make sure that your AMI from catalog is selected. Then we'll go down and we are going to select the instance type from here. And they told us to select M5 extra large. So I'll type in M5 and I'm going to select this one as M5 extra large. Now if you read in the instructions manual, they are saying to go for T2 extra large. But if you remember the screenshot which opened up here for selecting the instance type, they are recommending that you should select M5 extra large. So that's why we have selected M5 extra large over here. Then we'll scroll down for key pair. We'll select walk key as always. Then we'll scroll down to network settings and we'll have to click edit over here. And we can select on-premises VPC over here. Under the subnet, you'll select on-premises subnet. Auto-assign IP address would remain as enabled. In the security group, we'll select this one and we'll have to select a security group. So in instructions, they are saying to select File Gateway Access. So we can search over here by File Gateway Access and we'll select this one. So the reason of selecting File Gateway Access is that this security group is configured to allow traffic on port 80, 443, 53, 123, 2049. Now these ports are enabled to activate S3 File Gateway Appliance. They also enable the connectivity to Linux servers to NFS file share as they are created. Now we'll go to the security groups on there and we are going to select on-premises SSH as well. So this is just the information. Then we'll go and configure the storage and we'll add a new volume of 150 gigabits. So as per the instructions, we'll not change the 80 GB root volume, rather we'll add another one over here. So in order to add, we'll click on add volume and we'll type 150 over here. After that, just make sure that your number of instances is appearing 1 over here and launch the instance. Now in order to check the status of it, we'll click on instances and as you can see, that's initializing the appliance gateway that we created. Now we'll wait for a while till it's ready and then we'll continue. After that, they're saying check the status of it and then go to your gateway appliance and copy the IP address of it. So in order to copy the IP address of this one, as you can see that both of them are ready now and it has passed all the system checks. So if you'll click on this one, you'll be able to see the IP address of this one. Like always, note it down on your notepad file. Just name it as instance IPv4 address. It is 3.92.187.67 in my case. Next, they are saying to go back to your screen for the gateways and click on this one and confirm the setup of gateway. Press next. Now, since we are setting up a gateway, we'll provide the same IP address that we copied earlier. Make sure that you have this option selected as publicly accessible. After that, we are not making any other changes. You can select this one as your default endpoint and click next. Now, if it would ask you to activate the gateway and it's giving the details for it, you can review the settings and activate gateway. Now give it some time, and once your cache is available, it would be listed here. Now here we'll not make any changes, but under CloudWatch we'll select deactivate logging, and under CloudWatch alarms we'll select no alarms. After that, we'll just go and click configure. Just make sure that your file gateway status should be running over here. Now, in order to see the settings for this one, you can click on the file gateway and you can get the details for that one. But next is they're saying to create a file share. So in order to do that, we'll click on file share. In this one, we are going to select the file gateway. In S3 bucket, it should be Ohio. Under file share, you can select NFS. After that, we'll click on customize configurations. Just make sure that you have the same gateway selected, and we have the CloudWatch logging as deactivate logging, and we'll press next. Here we'll keep the S3 bucket as it is, and in the region you can see that we selected Ohio earlier. Now for the storage class, they are saying keep the S3 standard bucket over here, and then under IAM role we'll go to our instructions manual and we'll click on AWS details, and from here we can copy the ARN number, and under IAM role I'm going to paste it here, and you'll see an option. You can select this one. So we'll go down, we'll keep these settings as it is. After that, press next. No more changes required here as well. Press next. Just review the settings and click create. Now as you can see that this file share has been created and status changed to available over here. Next, they are saying to scroll down and copy the command, and just like we copied it on our notepad file, we'll maintain this command as well on a notepad file. Just note it with the information that it's for your file share and copy and paste it on your notepad file. Now we'll start our task number 5, and task number 5 is about mounting the file share to the Linux instance and migrating the data. So we'll connect our Linux EC2 instance and mount the NFS file share that we created through S3 file gateway. Once mounted, this share will appear just like a local folder, but behind the scenes, every file we place here will be stored in our S3 bucket. So we'll then copy or migrate our existing data from the local directories into this mounted file share. So as it says that we'll have to go to our shares and stuff, so we'll start working on it now. In order to make it easy, we'll copy the commands from here first, and then we'll go back and start working. So I copied the command on my notepad file. The other thing is they're saying to copy the URL address from here also, and I'll maintain it on my notepad file as well, and I can give it a name as well as instance session URL. Next, we'll paste it in our browser and we'll be able to see our command line interface. And now here we'll copy the commands one by one, and here we'll type in ls media and then data and press enter. Then paste the third command over here. Then we'll paste the next command on step number 52 to mount the file share to the Linux instance. And as you can see that it showed you a message over here that it is a directory, so it means that something's wrong over here. And if you'll read the instructions, it says that you'll have to replace the value of mount path. So if you remember that we copied this URL earlier, so now this thing would be replaced by the mount path that we had earlier. So now we'll copy this command from here and would execute it on our command line interface. Once that's done, press enter. Now in order to check that the share is mounted properly, we'll type in df-h and you'll be able to see these details. Now we'll run the final command to copy the data that we want to migrate to Amazon S3 into the share. So in order to do that, we'll run the command, and as you can see that it has copied the data to our share. So we completed our step number 5. Now on task number 6, we are verifying the data if it's migrated or not. So we'll confirm that the data migration and replication have been completed successfully. We'll verify the files in the primary S3 bucket and ensure that they have been replicated automatically to the secondary bucket. And then this verification step would demonstrate that how AWS Storage Gateway and S3 cross-region replication work together to ensure data durability, availability, and disaster recovery readiness. So for that, we'll go to our S3 buckets and we'll try to see that if the data has been replicated or not. And if we'll open Ohio, for example, we'll be able to see the files which were downloaded and uploaded to our bucket. And if we'll go to Oregon region, and you can see the same set of files has been downloaded to the bucket, that shows a replication of the data which was available on Ohio has been replicated to Oregon, which is our bucket number 2. So from source to destination, everything that we copied on source has been copied to the destination. So that was our lab number 16 on planning for disaster, and it was a hybrid storage and disaster recovery solution. So we learned how to create primary and the secondary S3 buckets for data protection across regions. We enabled cross-region replication to keep data automatically synchronized. Then we configured the S3 file gateway to connect on-premises storage through NFS file share. And finally, we migrated and tested and verified that the data between the local environment and S3 storage has been replicated. So these were the simple steps to learn that how AWS enables organizations to protect critical data, maintain business continuity, and recover quickly from unexpected disruptions, all core parts of a well-architected, resilient, and cloud design. That's it for today. Thank you very much.